literature. Hopefully you will be liking that. Okay. So thus Majumdar's quite clearly brings comparative literature to a radically alternative or a revolutionary discourse of national literature. It means that through comparative literature, Indian literature got its identity as a national literature. Without comparative literature, Indian literature will not get such kind of identity. That was according to definition of Shapon Majumdar. While West makes the division of great literature as well as a majority and minority literature, we have come into another discussion. Great literature, major literature and minority literature, in which perspectives they have identified that the great literature, on which perspectives you can say that it is great literature, it is major literature and it is minor literature. What is the parameter? But there is a canon. We say that it is canonian text. Canonian text means classic text. Shapon Majumdar asks that the question. In which way Western countries record their literature the great literature? It means that Western European countries, they say that their literature is great and other literature is minor literature and major literature or some other title. They actually do. But in which perspectives you can call a literature great? According to history, according to the perspective, what is the division? So, Majumdar articulates comparative literature as an action of comparing between national and sub-national literature. As he mentioned earlier, that is, English literature is derived from German and French tradition. If it is so that their literature can be called sub-national literature, and our literature is called national literature. So Shapon Majumdar, according to Shapon Majumdar, he said that comparative literature will be comparing Indian literature, that is the national literature, and English literature, that is the sub-national literature. So through the window of comparative literature, we are getting so many perspectives, so many issues relating to literatures and other genres. So broadly speaking, by Majumdar's articulation of sub-national literature, West European and English literature lost their identity a bit. Obviously, that is the claim. Okay, they said that Beowulf is their own production, but next time Beowulf's writer is anonymous. We don't know. Beowulf is from England or UK or the other parts of country. If Beowulf is not from English writer, then that would be from other literature. So Beowulf, we can't call his old English poetry, isn't it? So that is the issue relating to Shapon Majumdar. So English literature can be called sub-national literature and Indian literature can be called national literature. So comparative literature will be comparing the national literature and sub-national literature. Okay, so that is the definition derived from Majumdar's articulation. And national literature gets refueled. Refueled means if you get your car out of fuel, then you will refuel your car, isn't it, to drive the car. গাড়িতে তো তেল ভরবেন না. Okay, so for the window of comparative literature, according to Shapon Majumdar's definition, that literature, especially the national literature, especially the Indian national literature, got refueled and reinforced. Very good. Another archetype came into existence. Homi ke Bhabha. An Indian British scholar and critical theorist. He is the N.F. Rosenberg Professor of the Humanities of the Harvard University. Look here. And he goes a quite similar attitude by his new emphasis on post-colonial literature. Homi ke Bhabha suggests. Actually, Homi ke Bhabha was a professor of Harvard University, and he is a theorist, and also he is a scholar and critical theorist. According to Homi ke Bhabha, what did Homi ke Bhabha say about comparative literature? According to the introduction, he said the quite similar comments of Shapon Majumdar. Homi ke Bhabha said that cross references can be termed as cross-cutting. Cross reference can be called cross-cutting. How? Of the social significance which undermines the diverse cultural and ethnic relevances. So when we will be comparing a literature in cross perspectives, it means that we have been comparing a literature from a perspectives of great literature and minor literature, major literature and minor literature. It means that we can't call a literature minor. If we want to call a literature minor, of course we have to cut some issues. What are the issues? Social and cultural issues relating to that text. Why? Because they say that their culture is rich. So our culture is not rich. It means that they are disregarding the cultural and social values of other parts of this world. And for this reason, Bhumike Bhabha said that actually cross-reference is cross-cutting. Development of comparative literature beyond Europe and North America clears all kinds of assumption and confusion which were created for the discourse of Eurocentric literature. Another term, Eurocentric literature. Okay, Roman civilization is the great civilization. Greek civilization is the great civilization. And also they also claim, because they had the writer like Cicero, Ovid, okay, and Sophocles, so many writers are there, they are derived from this great literature, that means Cicero, Ovid, Sophocles, Euripides. They had a tendency. What the tendency? That our literature, European literature is great and other literature is not great. They are minor literature. So that attitude can be called chauvinistic attitude. Chauvinism means excessive love for own self, excessive love for own country, excessive love for own culture and literature. So European countries, they thought that their literature is great, and for this reason they developed an idea of Eurocentric literature. So European literature are the great literature, and that attitude can be called excessive expression of their national culture or a national literature. So according to Bhumike Bhabha, he also said that actually comparative literature, through the comparative literature, Europe placed them as the great literature, and they call their literature, that is the Eurocentric literature. Eurocentric literature, what does it mean? It means that the literature produced in Europe. Okay, we have got another writer. So Shapon Majumdar, then Bhumike Bhabha, and this man, most probably you know. Okay, of course I know. The name is written over there, isn't it? Ole Soyinka, Nigerian playwrights. Actually, we had been discussing the history. Actually, would you please shut the window, last window? We are getting crackling sound. Anybody? Yeah, close to that window. জানলাগুলো বন্ধ করে দেন। গতকাল তো গান হচ্ছিল, আজকে তো গান হচ্ছে না, আজকে শব্দ পাওয়া যাচ্ছে। গতকাল গানের শব্দ পাওয়া যাচ্ছিল। So Ole Soyinka, we had been discussing that Western graduates had been moving towards gender studies, cultural studies, and translation studies. But in the other parts, that means in Asian and European perspectives, comparative literature grounded well, that we had been discussing. So Shapon Majumdar, then Bhumike Bhabha, and then we have got another Nigerian literature. He is no one but Ole Soyinka, Nigerian playwright and political activist who received a Nobel Prize, and a whole range of African critics brought light to the extensive influence and comment on German philosopher Friedrich Hegel, who argued. So Ole Soyinka commented against Hegel. What Hegel argued? African culture is weak. Who said that? Friedrich Hegel. He said, what he said? African culture is weak, in contrast to higher, more developed culture. So in which perspectives Friedrich Hegel said that African culture is weak? Can he have that right? I have my thoughts. Yesterday I have been talking to one of